Now, here are two charts that we recovered from our very sporadic records, and there's a story behind this too. We had lifetime hosting with a small company in the United States that was run by husband and wife. We had that from 2004 when we started until I believe it was 2010 that our website disappeared. Now luckily we were looking at it one week and it was there, and then I happened to look at it the next week and it was gone. So we discovered the omission very quickly. We got no notice from the hosting company that they were going out of business. It's like our site just suddenly was not there anymore. And so we had to reconstruct it from basically, records on my computer and various hard drives and whatever. Of course, we weren't conscientious. We didn't do great backups. So we had a couple from a couple of years ago, and basically we had to do a pretty hardcore recovery job. So I went looking for some information on old traffic, and as I said, we didn't do much backup. So I found one little tiny chart for 2005, which just shows that in week 3, I'm assuming that's of the year, we had 8,000 visitors. I found another little one for 2009, it looks like for the first half of the year, so it shows an average of about 10,000 visitors a month, and it peaked somewhere there around Valentine's Day. It looks like about almost 30,000. So these are the only records we found for that older period of time with our old host. And I apologize for that. We were not very conscientious about backing up, and this is the result. Now, this one was a chart that we found in the old records for 2009. I have no idea why January to March has 0. I have an idea that the host changed, is it servers? I'm not sure what it's called. They changed where they were actually locating our site. And they must have changed it at the end of March, so that the new location for our site was April. So we have some record for then. We have April through to December on that year, and as you can see, December is where it peaked out at 18,000. Now, 2010, we do have a little bit of info on that. I have a feeling these are screenshots that I got in February 2010, and it was one of those occasions where I was actually conscientious enough to do this. It must have been partway through February because we've got a smaller figure there. So it does go to show that December and January we were consistently at 18,000 with 30,000 page views, probably a record for us. And that's all we have for 2010. Now you'll see on this next chart, this is when we discovered our website had disappeared off the internet, and we reconstructed it with a company called HostGator. So I would have done this in September 2011. You can see 617 visitors. That's where I would have restored the site for a few days at the end of September. Then in October, we picked up some traffic again. Then in November and December, we hovered around the 5,000 mark. Looking at this year, in January, we're again at 5,000, and in February, this is about February 5th, I think, we're up to 1,600. And you can see in January, our page views were like 8,500. So I anticipate for the rest of this year that our traffic will climb again now that we're firmly established with a new host. Now looking at the value of the site, we looked at a website called SEO Tunning, and the site valuation last June was $3,154. Now this was based on its Alexa ranking of 764,000, based on getting 1,440 visits a day, and 175 backlinks from Bing. Now, I don't know what their formula is, but this is what they came up with as a value for it last June. Now, on February the 5th, when I returned to the site, the value had climbed. Their ranking for Alexa was 502,000, which was over a 3-month period. Now, on that day, when we actually went to visit our site, the Alexa ranking was 499,000, and in fact it has climbed more since then. They were counting on 2,188 visits a day and 6,783 page views a day. Now again, I'm not sure what their formula is, but they came up with a valuation of $4,794. In other words, almost $5,000. Now a quick look at the romance site, which is one of our bonus sites. On February the 5th, SEO Tunning had valued this site at $947, so that's almost another $1,000. And the smallest site, which is a romantic vacation, that was valued at $336, because that gets very little traffic. Nothing has ever been done with that at all. So let's look at the total package. This is based on the formula that we learned from Ed Dale, who is one of the great internet gurus. We calculated that the Romantic Gift Ideas online site, or RGIO, had a current traffic figure of 5,000 unique visitors a month, or 60,000 visitors a year. Now, if you had paid 10 cents per click to get those visitors through Google AdSense or Google AdWords, those 60,000 visitors would have cost you $6,000. The fact is, for most of the romantic keywords, the value in Google AdWords is sometimes up to $2 and $3 a click, because they're very competitive keywords. So we halved the $2 a click. We made it $1 a click. So if you were to pay for those 60,000 visitors at $1 a click, that would actually cost you $60,000 to get them. The first bonus website, 21 Romance, has a figure of 533 people a month, according to our figures, or 6,400 people a year. If you paid 10 cents a click for those 6,400 people, you'd be paying $640. Now this is a lot lower than the valuation that SEO Tunning did for them, but this is just the way we calculated. A romantic vacation, we had an average of 140 people a month, or 1,648 a year. If you multiplied that by 10 cents that you would have to pay to get each of those visitors, if you use pay-per-click, you'd be paying $164 a year for them. And again, the figure below is if you paid $1 for each person, what it would cost you. So the subtotal, if you had to pay for all the traffic that these websites get free, you would pay $6,804. So that is the value of the website, just according to traffic. And the higher figure is more realistic in terms of the value of these keywords. We haven't mentioned income earlier because our income has been rather pathetic, but we averaged it out to $800 a year for the Romantic Gifts website, and that was affiliate income. AdSense income on the Romantic Gifts site is around $600 a year on average. If you add those two together, that's an income of $1,400 a year, added on to the value of the site if you had been paying for all that free traffic, and you have a figure of $8,204. And of course the larger one if you add in the traffic based on $1 per click. The sites together are worth $8,204. Now what we're asking from you is a bid. You can decide what you think the sites are worth to you. So here's what you need to do next. Watch all our videos where we give you a quick tour of our sites so you can see what's on there, what's already been done and what you might need to do. Then contact us with any questions or queries you might have. And then submit your bid for all 3 sites, or if you just want the one, then go ahead with that. If you just want 2. Whichever combination you prefer. We need to let go of these sites. We need to do it by the end of our financial year in Australia, which is the 30th of June. We have the 2 bonus sites with expired domain names on the 30th of April. So if you are considering this, you probably have the next couple of months to decide what to do, but I would suggest that you contact us as soon as you can so that we answer all your questions and you can make up your mind as to whether this will work for you or not, and we'll go from there. So thank you for listening, and hopefully we will talk to you soon.